Snow White wandered through the woods, the dark and mysterious woods. Right. As Snow White wandered through the dark and mysterious woods, she eventually came upon her cottage.
And what? That's how you met?
Well, no, not exactly. Actually, we were out mining at the time, so she, thinking the cottage was abandoned, just let herself in.
Oh, yes. I think I've heard this one before. Now, stop me if I'm wrong, but I'm certain this is how I heard it told. She broke into your house, ate all of your food, broke all of your chairs, and as I was getting to, she slept in all of their beds. Then she awoke to find 3 angry bears standing over her. Then the bears chased her away.
No, that's not how it happened. You're thinking of that other story, you know, the one with the little blonde girl?
Oh, okay then. Maybe I'm wrong, but you have to admit they're eerily similar.
True, but Snow White didn't break our things like that other girl did. No, instead, she took her little fixer-upper of the cottage and turned it into a modern and classy showcase piece.
Today, on this old cottage, we will be documenting the restoration of a 14th century German cottage. Now, what plans do you have for this small cottage?
It's a wreck. The roof is leaking something awful, so we'll have to replace that completely. The plumbing is nowhere near code, so we'll have to strip that out and start all over again. Besides that, loads of cosmetic issues like the outdated flooring, wrong paint on the walls, and the extremely unflattering decor. But don't you worry, we'll have her fixed up in no time.
We know you will. And what are your plans on top of all that?
We've got to restore all the countertops. I'm thinking marble, maybe granite. Then we'll upgrade the lighting to something more timely and classical. And if we have time at the end, we'll talk to the landscaping too.
Well, I'll let you get back to sprucing up. In the meantime, back to you, Heidi.
Okay, thank you. It seems we're getting off big track here. Now, you were getting us to the part where you all meet the princess. Which one of you can tell me about that?
Well, Heidi, it went a little something like this. Snow White had been there for what seemed like days, tidying and cleaning and tidying. It had only been a few hours, of course, but who's actually counting? We did one of the shortest pair of legs she'd ever laid eyes on. It was a dwarf horse, and one of the most mysterious dwarfs you'll ever meet.
Hey, it was you! It was you!
Yeah, it was me. What's it to you? And stop being so conspicuous. You're gonna blow my cover. Seeing as Snow White had just broken into the joint, she did what came naturally. She hid. I had the feeling I was being watched, so I hastened to go to bed. Just as I was about to give up my search, Snow White came out of hiding.
Baby's gone. Hello?
Whoa! Where'd you come from?
I was hiding underneath this table.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I asked you first.
But I'm your guest.
But I live here.
But I'm your princess.
Princess or guest, it doesn't matter who you are.
I don't give my name to just anyone, especially not to strangers.
Now, you go first.
No, you go. I insist. After all, it's the courteous thing to do.
In other words, I was getting nowhere. That's when there was a knock at the door.
Knock, knock!
Startled by the unexpected interruption of my interrogation, I turned and intervened. Who's there?
Annie.
Sensing that someone at the door was attempting to crack a joke, I played along. Annie, who?
Anyone at home?
I recognized the voice at once. I knew it was Bob who was trying to play a joke again, but I refused to play the fool. State your business.
I'm here to see a guy about a horse.
I knew it was a joke, but I was all business.
Okay. All right then. What's the password?
1, 2, 3, 4.
It was the easiest password in the book. In fact, it was so easy that I never thought anyone would ever actually use it.
All right. Come on in.
But it wasn't just Bob there at the door. It was all of us there.
Yeah, we all went in.
And that's when we finally met the princess. And what was your reaction to finding the princess there after she's barged into your house and made herself at home?
Hey, I thought it was awesome.
It was like a dream come true.
I thought it was a bit of a joke, personally.
No. It was more like fate or destiny. It was kismet, you might say.
It was still a bit suspicious, if you ask me.
Now, you all know weren't anything more than just a young gal looking for a place to stay is all it was.
And what about you, nerdy?
Well, I thought it was all of those things. That's exactly how it was in my opinion.
Very interesting. Okay, so go on. What happened next?
Well, while we were getting to know Snow White, the evil queen was still back at her castle.
She knew the huntsman had pulled a fast one on her.
Come hither, mirror. What say, mirror?
What say you, my queen?
Tell me I am beautiful, mirror.
You are fair, my queen. But that was not enough to quell the queen's vanity. Thus the queen quickly recited,
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
as it was when you last asketh me, and as it shall be until her untimely end. Snow White is undoubtedly and unquestionably the fairest of them all, my queen.
It was from that point on that the evil queen knew that if she wanted to get rid of Snow White, then she'd have to do it herself. And what was her plan? Simple. Give her a poisoned apple. Of course. A poisoned apple? And just how does one make a poisoned apple?
I am so glad you asked. It's actually a really simple recipe, and especially so in the hands of a capable chef. Good evening, my pretties, and welcome to Evil Stepmother's Kitchen. Today we'll be stirring up the handiest gems for knocking off your arch enemy. This entree I like to call the apple of my eye. Now for today's recipe, you'll need your everyday run-of-the-mill apple. But before we begin, please let me welcome my swallowly assistant, Igor. Welcome, Igor. Now, as I was saying, we need for this recipe your everyday run-of-the-mill apple. Igor, do you have the apple? Lovely. And did you bring the poison? Now, this is truly the simplest recipe of them all. All you need is a little ingenuity, inspiration, and the tiniest dash of revenge. So, we need this apple to be completely dehydrated so it can soak up every last ounce of liquid death. So, for this step, please let me welcome the big bad wolf. Welcome, Wolfie.
My pleasure, Your Goodness.
Now, as I said, we need this apple to be completely dehydrated. So, Wolfie, do your thing. And there you have it, folks, the least juiciest apple you could ever imagine. Now, there's a little skosh of prep work that needs to be done beforehand. Here, salt. Stir. Poison. Bottoms up. And now we wait for 6 short hours while our little apple does its magic. And there you have it, folks. The deadliest apple you could ever imagine. Care for a taste, Igor? I said care for
face, Igor?
Thank you for joining us on Evil Stepmother's Kitchen. I'm Evil Stepmother, saying good food means good riddance. And next time, we find out the lost art of freshly baked gingerbread and the enticing effects it has on little innocent children in the woods. See you next time on Evil Stepmother's Kitchen.
Oh, Jussie, I love it! And as I always say in stories like this, the storyline has just become denser.
I think what she meant is the plot thickens.
Whatever! Stay tuned when we come back. The Evil Queen pays Snow White a visit with the poisoned apple.
Will she eat it?
Or will she be the queen of the karate chop smash in the earth?
I bet what everyone is wondering is how will the princess ever live and how will the princess ever survive and live happily ever after?
Will she ride off through the sunset?
Or will the fates align against her?
Will her story be believable?
Or better yet, hysterical?
All this when we come back.